Oh yeah, we finally got the PTR notes for season 16. Guys, we've been looking for this for a long time. So I'm going to give you my first impressions real quick on PTR 2.6.4. We're going to take a look at the changes they're making and just give you my initial reaction. I haven't had a lot of time to delve into builds and things that I want to try, but here are my initial thoughts on this. We're launching patch 2.6.4 PTR later this week for some rapid pace testing. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to jump down to the good stuff. The PTR starts Wednesday, November 21st. That's 2 days from now. And there are going to be 2 buffs active to help you on your PTR journey: increased legendary drop rate and double blood shards. Now this is just for PTR. This is not going to be for live. They want our feedback, and here's the goals of the PTR. They want you to push as high a GR as you can, season and non-season, and experiment with class sets, mix matches made by the seasonal buff. The seasonal buff is Season of Grandeur, and basically we're gonna get the Royal Ring of Grandeur for free in the season. You don't even have to put it on. So let's keep reading through this PTR and see what they're talking about. Limited duration of this PTR. Try to break things, blah blah blah. We want the juice. Where's the juice? Here we go. Below are the PTR patch notes. All right, here we go. Here's the juice. The quality of life changes. The philosophy for this patch: we wanted to include a few frequently asked quality of life changes and focus on better celebrating and indicating primal legendary drops. Okay. 5 additional armory tabs have been added for all characters, bringing the total to 10. That's amazing. There are so many builds that I want to keep in the armory and I can't because I don't have room. I end up dropping them and not experimenting. So this is going to lead me to experiment more, honestly. Greater Rift keystones are now stored in the materials tab. Any existing keystones are going to be automatically moved. That's kind of cool. It's a nice quality of life, I guess. That's not huge, but it's cool not to have to pick them up, I guess, anymore, or at least worry about managing them. Primal legendaries are now marked by a red beam when they drop. This is pretty cool. This is going to juice up the hype quite a bit, man. When you see that red beam, you're going to be like, oh yeah, and you're going to get all excited. Ultimately probably to just get let down by a crappy primal, but at least we're gonna have that little bit of hype. Primal legendaries on the ground are now indicated by a red pentagram icon on the mini-map. That's cool, so it will also show on the mini-map, you know it's primal. I wonder if this is also going to show on the world map. That way when you see that legendary item way back at the end of the map, if it does show, then you won't have to run all the way back to get it if you don't want to. And then primal legendaries now have a red border and updated background on their icon, so you can easily tell when somebody has a primal on or when you have a primal on in that slot. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Greater Rifts philosophy: the gameplay and micromanaging of Paragon points during the course of a Greater Rift doesn't feel like especially engaging gameplay. You think? Basically what they're saying is this: they didn't even need that first paragraph. They could have just said primary or Paragon points can no longer be swapped in a Greater Rift. Okay, cool. I 100% love that change. And players can now be matched into public games where a Greater Rift is open. Players who join in this manner will not be able to enter the active rift. The players inside the rift will not have the difficulty scaled up to accommodate until that rift is done. That's kind of cool. That's a nice change. I mean, it's gonna suck if you get into a fresh rift and you have to wait like 10-15 minutes for them to complete it if they're a slow group, but it's kind of cool. Hopefully that'll help the Greater Rift public matchmaking work better. Season 16, Season of Grandeur. The buff for this season is basically all seasonal players have the legendary power from Royal Ring of Grandeur. This is really cool, man. This is going to open up so many possibilities with build diversity in the season. You're basically going to get to equip a free legendary item. The Royal Ring reduces the number of items needed for set bonuses by 1 to a minimum of 2. You still have to have 2 of the items on, but it reduces it by 1, so you can get your 6-piece bonus with only 5 pieces. Most of you probably already know that. This buff does not stack with additional Royal Rings, so you can't stack it up in the Kanai Cube or putting one on. Unlike previous seasonal buffs, this buff will not apply to non-seasonal players. That's interesting in itself. This is really going to shift people to play that seasonal character if they want those cool seasonal benefits. I think they probably did that to not screw up the non-seasonal leaderboards, would be my guess, but I'm not sure 100% why they did that. That's the only thing I can think of. When completing a Greater Rift 70 solo for the first time in a season, a primal legendary is a guaranteed drop from the Rift Guardian. This does two things. One, it's going to confirm that you've unlocked primals on the account, and two, you actually get one. So that's kind of hype, even though again we all know it's probably going to be a crappy primal, but you could potentially get something awesome on your first 70 clear. So I'm all in favor of this change. I like that a lot. The class set changes. The philosophy is we're taking another tuning pass across all class sets to improve diversity at higher greater rifts. Please know that these values are not final, so these could probably change, and we anticipate some adjustments to occur during the course of the PTR. Initially, this looks so good, man. All the classes, the Legacy of Nightmares 2 set bonus is getting a 500% upgrade, 5 times more powerful than it is now. This is going to be sick. There are some really cool T13 builds that I personally love. Demon Hunter Strafe build comes to mind. There's an LON Strafe build that is so much fun. I can't wait to test these things out. The Barbarian, basically Barbarian is getting juiced up all across the board. The Raykor set, the Immortal Kings, the Leapquake, and the Whirlwind set are all getting juiced up. I mean, look at these differences. It's from 2,800% in Raykor to 7,000. Immortal Kings is going from 1,500 to 4,000. This could make some ridiculous T13 and Greater Rift 90 to 100 farm builds. This Immortal King set is going to be nasty. Might of the Earth is going to go from 5,600% to 20,000%. Leapquake just got juiced out of its mind. And then the Wrath of the Waste set, again, from 3,000 to 10,000. This set is definitely going to be a super viable T13 set now, and probably even some speed farming. The Crusader got Thorns of Invoker, again going from 140 to 350 and from 54 to 1500, and they're talking about Thorns damage. It says the 2-piece and the 6-piece. So if we pull that up and look at it, the 2-piece is each time you hit an enemy with punish, slash, or block an attack, your Thorns is increased by 140% for 2 seconds. So this is going to go to from 140 to 350, and then the 6-piece is going to attack speed of punish and slash are increased by 50%, and 5400 is now going to go to 1500%. So Thorns Invoker set just got juiced. I personally don't like this set that much. I'm not super thrilled about it, but it looks like it's pretty powerful now. Or it could be. The Roland's Legacy set goes from 3,300 to 1,300, and then you're going to get attack speed increased by 25%. Again, that's going to make this kind of ridiculous. Seeker of Light, again, this set is the Blessed Hammer build. This is the Hammerden build. This build was on top for a couple seasons, so it's going to be interesting to see if this can compete with Condemns for that #1 slot. But the set bonus is increased from 2,000 to 12,000, so that is a 6 times damage multiplier on that. That's going to be pretty crazy. For the Demon Hunter set, we got the Marauder sets getting buffed from 3,000% to 12,000% per century you place. So if we look at that 6-piece bonus, basically your primary skills are increased by 12,000% now for every century. You can get up to 5 centuries put down. It's going to be a lot of juice. The UE multi-shot Demon Hunter Unhallowed Essence set, again, is getting juiced up from 100% to 350% per point of discipline. That is a 3.5 times increase. UE is going to be maybe possibly the fastest T13 set, and possibly even the fastest like Greater Rift 90 to 100 speed GR farming for solos. This is going to be amazingly powerful. Natalia's is something that I've personally been excited to see, and Natalia's got buffed up from 3,500% to 14,000. That is quite a damage increase, and basically the way it works is after casting Rain of Vengeance, you're going to deal 14,000% increased damage. That's going to make so many awesome viable farming sets, and then maybe even some cool push sets. And for sure the N6 M4 Marauders Natalia's set, hybrid is going to be crazy powerful. So again, Demon Hunter got love all the way around. The Shadow Impale set also got buffed up. The two-piece, which states that while equipped with a melee weapon, your damage is increased by 1200%, now goes to 6000%. And then the 6-piece bonus is Impaled. It deals an additional 75,000% weapon damage to the first enemy it hits. So Shadow got buffed. The Monk got love. Uliana's definitely got some love. It went from 2100% to 9000%. And to be honest with you, I haven't played an Exploding Palm build in so long that it's kind of even hard to imagine how powerful this is going to be. This is one of those sets I need to play it to see exactly where this is going to sit, but this could be really cool. The Inna's Mantra set got juiced up from 150 to 1500% per Mystic Ally that you have by your side. You can have 5 of them initially from the set, and I think with more items you can even get that number higher. So again, this is a set I've never really played, but this is going to be crazy with that damage increase. The Wave of Light Sun Wuko's Monkey King set got boosted up by 500%. This set is already top tier, so Wave of Light again. T13 speed farms are going to be even easier, and then the Greater Rift 90s to 100s are just going to fall right in line. This is a crazy awesome change. I think what this is going to do that a lot of people may not have even considered is that Lashing Tail Kick might become a thing again for T13 speed farms. Lashing Tail Kick is so awesome to jump from elite to elite, from trash mob to trash mob. So it'll be cool to play with that. I don't know if it's going to be better than Wave of Light, but it will definitely be fun to play Lashing Tail Kick a little bit. Remnant of 1,000 Storms got increased drastically. This is going to put them in line to potentially, maybe possibly challenge Necros for the RGK spot, for that Rift Guardian kill spot. It'll be interesting to see what people work out with this, but the set bonuses have been increased from 100% to 400% for the 2-piece, from 1,300 to 60,000 on the 6-piece dashing strike damage, and then 1,300 to 6,000 on the generator damage. So this can end up being ridiculous. Monks got a lot of love, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see that in action. Necromancer unfortunately didn't get hardly any love, and it's surprising. They buffed Traghouls, but they didn't touch Inarius, and I really expected to see Inarius get some love. Would have been cool to see Inarius get some love. I'm okay that Necro didn't get love. They've been on top for a year, so I'm okay with that. It would be nice maybe in a future patch to give Inarius some love though. And then the fabled Witch Doctor that's been bottom of the barrel for so long just got crazy juice. Spirit of Arachnid got 4,500 to 9,000 on the 6-piece bonus. Helltooth went from 1,500 to 3,000 on the 2-piece, and then 44 to 9,000 on the 6-piece. Jade Harvester, this one's kind of hard to judge what it's going to do exactly, but the 2-set bonus has been increased from 560 seconds to 3,500 seconds. And the 6-piece has gone from 1,650 to 10,000 seconds worth of damage. So if we look at that set bonus, basically Soul Harvest reduces the damage taken by 50% for 12 seconds. So there's your damage decrease. But it also consumes your damage over time effects on the enemy, instantly dealing, and it's going to be now 10,000 seconds worth of ticking damage. So that could be crazy. It's really hard to see where this is going to land, but Jade Harvest could be top tier after all is said and done. And then the Zunimasas, the 6-piece went from 5,500 to 15,000. So Zunimasas is going to be in a good spot. I think overall Witch Doctor is going to get a lot of love, and they're going to be semi-viable again, which would be cool to see people pushing on Witch Doctor. And then we have one of my all-time favorite sets, the Taurasha set, is getting juiced from 750 per stack to 3,000. This stacks up to 4. So the difference is absolutely insane. Taurasha's is going to wreck face. This is going to open up some Taurasha's Veers hybrid builds. It's going to have Explosive Blast Taurasha's builds. It's going to have your Taurasha's Meteor builds. There are so many things we're going to be able to do with Taurasha's now. It is amazing. I'm so glad they buffed this set. My favorite set in the game, and it just got juiced up even more. DMO just got juiced up from 3,800 to 8,500%. DMO is already a top tier build. People are already pushing like Greater Rift 120 pluses on this set. this could potentially be the top tier, highest Greater Rift clearing set in the game. I am not a super strong DMO player. I don't have a lot of time on it, but I know there are people that can do crazy things with this build. So it getting juiced up from 3,800 to 8,500% damage is pretty nuts. I'm excited to see what this ends up being. And then Veer's got the 6 set bonus increase from 50% bonus damage to 100%. And if you read it, it says you gain 1 Archon stack when you are hit with the Archon ability. And Archon stacks also reduce damage taken by 15% and have their damage bonus increased to 50%. So I'm not really sure how much this is going to play out. So basically, let's say you're getting 100 stacks before. That's 500, or 5,000% damage. Now it's going to be 10,000% damage. So this could play out pretty cool, or it could be a little weak. I don't know. This might be one of the numbers that I see getting tweaked in the future for sure. So that's a quick rundown on the classes and my initial reactions to them. I think this is a really good thing for the game, and a lot of people are worried about power creep. And I don't think, like, if you already have the top tier builds sitting here and all the other builds are below, what they've done is they've narrowed the gap and brought those back up in line with some of those top tier builds. And I don't think we're going to see a huge power creep. Like some of the sets that already pushed, like Demo Wizard, maybe might get a little power creep and can push a little higher. But I think what they're doing is they're bridging the gap. And then in 4-player, I think rats are still going to be top tier for Paragon farming, but I think this gives options for other players to play other things and be able to complete and blow up Greater Rift 100s to 105s with some speed. And it'll be interesting to see what builds people come up with to compete with rat runs. I don't think rat runs are going to get dethroned from this, but there are definitely going to be more options, and you're not going to be pigeonholed into playing rats over and over and over and over again. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I think this patch is going to do for us. It's going to give us build diversity. We're going to be able to play more and more things, and eventually metas will come out and people will find the top tier builds for everything, and we'll fall back into this little meta shelf that we've had for the last year. But this is going to break that up for a little bit and hopefully give us more options, at least to get above 100 and farm 100 plus Greater Rifts. So I'm super excited with these changes. And then they go on to say how to participate, and you should read this if you want to play in the PTR. You get to clone your current account. So when you clone your account, you can spend all your mats and destroy all your stuff, and then 2 days later or a day later you can reclone again and use up all your mats again. So stockpiling mats until Wednesday is a great thing. It's a great way to get into the PTR with all the juice and have stuff to experiment with and play with. I am so excited to play Wizard and Barbarian. Those two classes look good to me. Monk looks really good. Demon Hunter looks good. Like, I can't wait to play all of these classes after this change. So I'm excited. You guys should be excited. The naysayers are still going to complain and still make Diablo Immortal jokes and still hate on the fun. Don't let them get you down, man. Come back, play the game, test this PTR out. Let's give some info back to Blizzard so they can get us the best possible release we can get when this drops live for us. And I'm excited, man. This is going to be great. So hopefully I will see you guys in the PTR. Thanks for hanging out with me while we discuss the PTR patch notes. Make sure you're following me on Twitter to get constant updates when I get new build guides or figure things out with this PTR. And as always, if you like the content, consider hitting the subscribe button or giving it a thumbs up. I will catch you guys for the next video. Peace.